It's Andrew here with another episode of Embroidery Hub. This week's episode is going to be all about caps. Every day we get asked what the best cap is to embroider on if you're just starting out in embroidery. Since there are so many different cap styles to choose from, we thought we'd make a video so you could see the differences for yourself. So in today's episode, I'm going to cover the most requested cap styles and tips for embroidering each one so that you too can become a maverick of cap embroidery. But before I get started, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content just like this. Tower, this is Ghost Rider requesting a flyby.
Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full.
It's time to buzz the tower. Woo! Wow, that was awesome. Before I jump into the most requested cap styles, I first need to show you the two main types of caps that are important for embroidery: structured and unstructured. Structured caps refer to the structural form of the cap that gives it a sturdy shape. They have a buckram behind the front two panels that give it structure. This is typically a cotton or polyester material with a light coat of plastic. Unstructured caps don't have this rigid form. Most unstructured caps are low profile and are made out of cotton. Both 6-panel hats and 5-panel hats can be structured or unstructured. However, most 5-panel hats are structured. Now, you may be wondering, what is a 5-panel and a 6-panel cap? The panels refer to the crown of the cap. All caps have 2 side and 2 rear panels, but they can differ on the front. A 5-panel is a single panel of fabric which is folded to match the shape of the rest of the cap, leaving a small line of stitching on the top of the cap. A 6-panel cap has a wide flat brim with a seam running down the middle of the front of the cap. 6-panel caps are more standard and are highly requested. Now that you know the main differences between cap styles, let's move on to the main cap styles that I'll be covering today. Let's begin with the most popular style of unstructured cap, which is known as the dad cap. There are a few qualities about dad caps which make them ideal for embroidery. The first is that they are not structured, which means they're easier to handle and softer, which means you're less likely to get a needle break. This cap does have a seam in the middle, which makes it a 6-panel cap. But because it's unstructured, the seam is softer than a structured cap would be, so it won't give us any issues while embroidering over it. There are a few devices that are great to use when embroidering dad caps. The first are your regular cap hoops that come with your Ricoma machine, which is what I'll be showing you today. The second is the 8-in-1 device, which is great for the back of the cap. If you want to check out how to achieve curved lettering around the back of the cap, then check out the video in the description below. And if you want to buy the 8-in-1 device, you can check it out at shop.ricoma.com. To embroider an unstructured cap, you will need stabilizer like you would with any flat garment to add stability to your cap. Today, I'll be using 2 sheets of tearaway backing, and also I'll be using my 7511 needle. As a rule of thumb, for cap embroidery on pre-assembled caps, you'll want your design to be around 2.5 inches in height, regardless of the cap you're embroidering on. Let's get started with hooping. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and hoop our cap. So we're gonna have the cap ring, and what you wanna make sure is when you put this inside, you're gonna hear click. That's when you know you're good. Then we're gonna have our 2 pieces of tearaway stabilizer, and then bring this in. Make sure you hold your stabilizer. And what you wanna make sure is that you want the notch right here on the metal plate to align with the center seam. You hoop your cap, hold this down. We're gonna latch this, and then unlatch. There you go. All right, so we're now at the panel. We're gonna go to file, and it's the Tomcat design. Go hit OK. I have all the colors already pre-selected, and then we're gonna go over here to design set, you want to make sure that the actual design is going to be flipped upside down. So it'll flip at 180 degrees. We're going to use the cap hoop, and when we hit OK, it's going to adjust itself. Now we're just going to put it in the cap ring. All we have to do now is to trace. All right, there we go. Man, now this came out amazing. But before I show you this cap, let's go ahead and work on the other caps. The next cap I'll be demonstrating how to embroider on is a polyester 6-panel low-profile baseball cap. This cap type is structured, but it's not as rigid as some of the other structured 6-panel caps like the Richardson 112s. This cap style is 100% polyester and breathable, making it great for sports. Since this cap is structured, you don't necessarily need stabilizer. But since this particular cap is on the softer side, I will be using one piece of tearaway stabilizer. I'll also be using my 7511 needle. This cap is hooped and embroidered like the dad cap, so I'm going to quickly demo and embroider the cap for you now. All right guys, so now for the 6-panel baseball cap, just on the safe side, I'm going to use one piece of tearaway stabilizer, hoop it up. All right, so let's go ahead and put the cap in the cap ring. All right, let's go ahead and trace our design. And hit start. The next cap is a fan favorite. This cap is a snapback, which just means that it has a plastic snap enclosure on the back. This cap is also a flat bill, which means that the bill of the cap is flat rather than curved. Unlike the last two cap styles, this cap is very rigid, so I won't be using any additional stabilizer. I will, however, still be using my 7511 needles. If you begin experiencing needle breaks when embroidering on very rigid structured caps, then you can always switch to an 80-12 needle. The hooping process for all caps using the Ricoma cap hoops will be very similar. But if you want to check out some of the other devices used for cap hooping, check out this episode. If you want a little more practice hooping caps, then I suggest you check out our cap hooping episode, which I've linked in the description below. So, I got my cap hooped here. Since it's a structured cap, you want to make sure that when you're tracing, it doesn't hit the back plate. So what you can do is you can push the bill a little forward so that there's less of a chance for it to hit the plate. This style of cap also comes in a 5-panel version, which means that there's no seam running down the middle. But it'll be structured. 5-panel caps are great for cap embroidery because you have a nice, smooth, flat surface to work on. Finally, our last 6-panel cap that I'll be showing you is our 6-panel Richardson 112 trucker cap. The two things that distinguish this cap is that it is the most rigid of all the styles that I have shown you, and it also has mesh sides. Because of the rigidity of this cap, most embroiderers struggle with needle breaks, but that shouldn't deter you from mastering this cap type. In fact, we have a great video for you that breaks down how to embroider on this type of cap successfully on a Ricoma machine that I've linked on the card above and on the description below. I also have a great video that shows off how to embroider the mesh side of a cap using the 270-degree cap rotation feature on the commercial Ricoma embroidery machine. So this feature will allow you to embroider all 3 sides of a cap on a single go without having to rehoop. The final cap style that I'll be showing you is a 100% polyester and 100% nylon foam trucker cap, also known as a mesh hat. The unique feature of this cap style is its very soft foam front. This type of cap is a 5-panel cap with no front seam. This type of cap will require additional stabilizer. So for this demo, I'm going to use 2 sheets of tearaway stabilizer with my 7511 needles. Typically, these types of caps are better suited for printing on because you'll notice that when you embroider on foam, the stitches will tend to sink in. Now that I've embroidered on the main cap styles, let's see how they came out. That's it for today. For more tips on cap embroidery, be sure to check out our video, Cap Embroidery Tips and Best Practices, which I've linked below and in the card above. I've also included a great cap embroidery resource that you can download below to avoid common cap embroidery mistakes. If I missed a popular cap style that you would like a video tutorial on, then make sure to share that in the comments below. All right guys, Andrew, signing off.